Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into the heart of a fictional work, She Lives, from 2025.
Yeah, we've got these excerpts, kind of like snapshots of different lives in this one apartment building.
Exactly. And our job really is to unpack it, all the relationships, the mysteries that jump out, and, the themes bubbling under the surface.
Right, it's like piecing together clues from these fragments, seeing what hits you, what patterns show up, what the author might be getting at.
So let's start with Richard. He's a writer, small apartment, looks a bit lived in, maybe seen better days.
And we get those details, don't we? The cracked TV, a Ferguson Thorne TX9 specifically.
Yeah, and the typewriter, that old Royal Gray TW31, plus a stack of manuscripts called Louis.
Mm-hmm. And the photograph, that beautiful woman, dark hair, gray eyes.
That photo just feels instantly important, like it holds a key.
Definitely. And Richard, he's having conversations with someone named Miriam, but we don't see her.
Right, an unseen presence. And the talks, they're weirdly mixed.
Totally. 1 minute, it's writer problems needing more air or tone,
Uh-huh. And the next, it's super personal, hints of loss, a shared past maybe.
Yeah, something heavy hangs there,
Yeah.
and he's clearly stuck with his writing. Blocked.
You wonder if Miriam is connected to that block. Or maybe she is the block. Or, well, part of it.
Good question. Then Lily enters the picture. New resident.
She has this brief moment with Richard, offers him groceries, seems really bright, friendly.
A real contrast, but then bam, almost immediately after.
For the janitor, Phil, he pulls her aside in the lobby.
And gives her this warning, right? Steer clear of Richard.
What do you make of that? That sudden switch. Friendly Lily, then this ominous warning.
It just dials up the unease instantly, sets up a conflict. Lily, the newcomer, warned off Richard, who we already sense has this complicated inner life.
Yeah, in Phil's description, not altogether proper, scrawny, wild hair. It paints a very different picture than, the romantic struggling writer idea.
It really does. What does Phil know? What has he seen?
Exactly. So right away, we've got these big questions. Who is Miriam? Why is Richard talking to someone unseen?
And what's the deal with Phil's warning? What's he afraid of?
These are the hooks, right. But the story doesn't just linger there. It gets darker.
Yeah, it takes a turn. Richard's behavior gets stranger, admiring himself in the mirror.
Calling himself King Richard.
Ow.
And Miriam seems to egg him on.
Right. Is it delusion? Is his ego just that fragile, needing this unseen voice to prop it up? Or is it something else, some kind of act?
And then it gets really, really unsettling. His nighttime trips out.
Oh, yeah. Coming back with the severed head of a young grizzly bear.
The detail is just so visceral, eating the raw liver and heart.
Whoa, that's a huge escalation. Primal. Violent.
What does that even symbolize? Is it power?
Madness.
It feels like something internal bursting out, violent, maybe tapping into something primal, like you said, fueled by Miriam.
Could be. That raw consumption part, it feels almost ritualistic. Or desperate.
Is he trying to, absorb its strength?
Yeah.
Or is it just a symptom of something deeply wrong? And Miriam's reaction, she's apparently delighted. Invites him into her dreams.
It just blurs the lines even more, doesn't it? Reality, delusion, maybe something supernatural.
The dynamic between them gets really twisted after that. She starts making rules.
And Richard gets more desperate. He starts questioning her. Who is she? Where does she go?
Yeah, he gets really anxious when she disappears. And when he sleeps, it feels less like rest and more like dependence and escape.
Totally. The power balance shifts hard. Miriam's calling the shots. Richard needs her, even when she's unsettling him.
Is she a muse who turned toxic? Or was she always something else?
His desperation, it suggests some deep need is being met or maybe, exploited.
Then there's that really bizarre bit involving Lily. And not just Lily, but others.
Right. They somehow enter Richard's dreams.
Leaving him totally drained, but with this weirdly blissful smile.
That throws everything up in the air. Is Miriam letting them in? Is it some kind of shared consciousness in the building? Psychic link?
Or is it just Richard's own mind fracturing, projecting onto people?
The blissful smile part is creepy. Is he okay with this happening? Or is he unaware?
And contrast that with Lily's next visit. She comes to his apartment, asks about the lady of the house.
Completely oblivious to Miriam, to the whole dark dynamic.
Yeah, she's just trying to get feedback on her handbags from his lady friends.
Meanwhile, Richard's responses are weird, and you feel Miriam's jealousy, this possessiveness, even though Lily can't sense her at all.
It's such a disconnect. They were living in totally different realities.
Absolutely. Lily's out there building her business, connecting with people, grounded.
While Richard is getting more isolated, caught in this web with Miriam.
Her jealousy just highlights how possessive she is, cutting him off from real connections.
And Lily gets more popular in the building. People seem to like her. But Phil's still worried.
He even tries to get her moved to a different apartment.
Which really shows how uneasy he is about Richard. He must sense a real threat.
Yeah, maybe he's seen more than he's let on, or just has the strong intuition. He sees Richard as a danger to her.
Like a reluctant guardian, yeah.
Then we get that glimpse into Richard's professional life. The call from Mark, his editor.
Right, needing the manuscript. Urgently.
Richard gives reassurances, but you feel the pressure mounting. From Miriam, his writing, now his editor.
It just adds another layer of stress, doesn't it? Maybe makes him more vulnerable to Miriam, looking for escape or inspiration.
Could be. And then Miriam makes this really disturbing request.
Wants someone else to join their dreams.
Richard hesitates, he's confused, but then...
He just caves, agrees to anything she wants, desperate to please her.
That's a really critical moment, shows how much power she has. It feels like coercion.
He feels trapped, like he has no choice.
And right after that agreement, he goes out again. Another nighttime excursion.
But this time, it's not an animal. He targets a person.
Hunts in the park, confronts a guard, attacks him brutally.
Steals his clothes. That's a terrifying leap.
A huge escalation into violence against humans. Stealing the clothes again, is it disguise? Shedding his identity?
It shows how far he's falling. It's really grim.
Then we cut back to after that shared dream, the one with Lily and the others. Richard's totally wiped out.
Lily visits again, leaves in that small black bag. We don't know what's in it yet.
And we see Lily interacting with neighbors, getting feedback on her bags, making connections.
She meets a woman selling beauty products. They connect. Her life is moving forward, outward.
Such a contrast to Richard's isolation and violence.
Sure.
She's resilient, grounded in the real world.
But back at Richard's apartment, things are getting foul. Literally.
Yeah, the atmosphere's decaying. He's weak. There are bad smells.
And he's desperate for more of those shared dreams. He wants them.
But Miriam says no, insists he rest, says it's too dangerous to repeat.
So she controls that too. His desperation grows, and he says that chilling thing, I must eat more.
That connects back to the grizzly, doesn't it? The raw organs. Is it some ritual? Does he think he needs it to sustain the connection? Or himself?
Miriam refusing adds another layer. Is she protecting him? Or are there consequences even she's worried about?
Then she drops that cryptic bomb. Says Richard has been thinking about something.
Something she could never ask him to do, but she implies it heavily.
He begs her to tell him, and then just agrees blindly.
All right, Mill, my Millie, I'll do it. Without even knowing what it is.
That feels like the point of no return. It's so unsettling. The pet names make it even creepier.
And immediately after, bam, violent pounding on his door.
He panics, searches for who it is, grabs that photo again, gets ready to bolt.
Rope and dagger. He's expecting trouble, maybe related to whatever he just agreed to.
The pounding pushes him into action. He's clearly afraid.
Then his escape. Down the rope, through the alleys.
Seeing the late-night city life, but totally separate from it, alienated.
And where does he go? Back to the park.
The scene of the previous violence, it's like a compulsion.
And he does it again. Sees the guard, lures him with rocks.
Attacks silently. Dagger, then a rock. Leaves him unconscious this time.
Steals the clothes. Again, this pattern is deeply disturbing.
Is it Miriam's influence? Or just his own darkness growing, stealing the clothes, trying to disappear, mocking authority? Leaving the guard alive is interesting, though. Maybe specific purpose.
Meanwhile, Lily returns to the building. People are happy to see her.
Warm greetings. She talks to Phil. He seems relieved she's back. Her handbag business is taking off.
It's this little pocket of relative normality.
A real contrast to Richard's dark path. Her success is like a small light.
And she runs into Richard outside. He looks different.
They talk. She mentions Mark reaching out because of Richard, her success. She's genuinely grateful. There's warmth there, a chance for connection.
It feels like maybe there's a path back for him.
Yeah,
through her.
Possibly. And they end up going out impulsively to a diner.
And they share some really personal stuff about their past losses.
Lily's husband, James, Richard's fiancée, Miriam, finding common ground in grief.
They talk about her business, his writing. There's even a moment of humor. comparing Miriam's organ playing.
Lily quotes from his book, The Red Hours, shows she's really engaged, connect with his work.
It feels like a big step, real intimacy building.
That shared vulnerability, it creates a bond.
Lily also mentions seeing him at a pet shop with a bunny. Richard explains it died.
Janice and the pet shop come up. Feels like one of those details that might pop up again later.
Typical breadcrumbs, yeah. Foreshadowing, maybe?
They head back, part ways friendly. Seems hopeful.
Later, Richard gets calls. His father liked the manuscript.
Positive feedback. And Mark, his editor, calls too.
Mark's excited about Lily's success and Richard's work. Richard actually thanks Mark for helping Lily.
Shows he still has that capacity for care, for empathy. It contrasts so much with the violence.
Feels like he's reconnecting, maybe? He opens his windows, lets the rain in, drifts off to sleep. A moment of peace.
But it doesn't last. Later that night, heavy knocking on his door again.
Slams against it. But no one's there.
Just like that, the unease crashes back in. Whatever's going on, it's persistent. It intrudes.
Monday morning, Phil desperately tries to flag Richard down.
But Richard just brushes him off. He's meeting Lily.
Who looks amazing, by the way. Dressed up for some business lunch. Success looks good on her.
But Phil is frantic, gives these cryptic warnings, moving on, others being mad.
You can feel his terror. He knows something awful is happening. Richard's denial or blindness is stark.
Lily and Richard leave together, get in a car with a driver guy, despite the rain.
And Phil's last words to Richard. Take care of Lily. So poignant. So ominous.
Their trip starts okay on this Murham Road, but then disaster. Huge traffic pileup.
Their hopeful moment is literally blocked. Feels symbolic almost. External forces interfering.
Then car trouble, a flat tire, of course.
They have to detour to this place, Lenny's gas station.
And there, Lily sees something weird, calls it a unicorn in the sky. Whimsical. Suggests they walk to the diner.
Richard pays Guy extra, explains the change of plan, handles it well.
These setbacks actually push them closer, force them to rely on each other.
They walk to the diner in the drizzle. There's playful stuff with the umbrella. Lily struggling with her heels.
Builds the mood. And then Lily just, as she puts it out there.
Suppose I said I like you. So direct.
And Richard immediately responds, says he feels the same. It's a really tender, crucial moment.
That walk, it cements their connection. Turns romantic. A beacon of hope.
They go to the diner, then a movie theater. Connection deepens, unspoken. They hold hands.
Later, twilight, sitting on a bench. Tired but together. Playful talk about home.
Then they walk off, hand in hand, to find Lily some sneakers. Their bond feels solid now.
But when they get back to the apartment complex, chaos.
Neighbors everywhere, patrol cars, an interceptor, an ambulance, flashing lights.
The woman breaks the news. It's Phil. They say he hung himself.
Devastating. After their hopeful day, this just shatters everything.
Richard takes it hard, retreats immediately to his apartment, pulls the curtains.
His reaction screams guilt or fear or maybe just being overwhelmed by the darkness connected to Phil.
Then a sharp knock on his door. Just hangs there.
But wait, there's a twist. While Richard is hiding...
Ian finds Lily, tells her Phil survived. He's at St. Anna's General Hospital.
Oh, wow, okay. A chance for answers then.
Lily immediately wants to go see him. Shows her compassion, her need to understand.
Meanwhile, Richard opens his door, not to Lily, but to Phil's friends. Henry, Bill, Wilson.
And they don't ask. They barge in, forcefully.
Bill confronts him, accuses him about Phil, then reads Phil's note.
And the note is damning. I am so sorry. Sorry for the animals. Things I can no longer live with. They torment me all the time.
Richie, resist. I pray God will forgive us. Be good. Wow.
It implicates Richard directly, doesn't it? Suggests Phil was tormented by something related to animals, and Richard is involved and needs to resist the same thing.
Bill demands Richard leave tonight, or they go to the police with the note.
The walls are closing in on Richard. He's basically a suspect.
Okay. Shift to the hospital. Lily visits Phil. Sterile room. Nurse's instructions.
Phil looks terrible, frail, but he's conscious. Asks about Richard. Then asks Lily to sit.
And then he confesses. Tells her about his wife, Jane Svetlina.
How she died in a travel accident with Richard's fiancée, Miriam.
Whoa. Their pasts are directly linked through this tragedy. Explains so much potential shared grief.
Phil admits he was suicidal after Jane died. And then he met someone.
A mysterious young woman. Appeared soon after Jane's death.
Claimed Jane sent her. Said they could be together again if Phil just invited her back.
And that night, Phil heard Jane's voice.
Wait.
And he invited her back.
Oh, no. Then he admits he told Richard about this experience. shared it with him.
So this could be the origin point. Phil, vulnerable in his grief, invites something in and then involves Richard.
Lily puts it together, realizes it wasn't Jane he invited back, connects it to the harmed animals mentioned in the note.
Phil confirms it, admits to the animal deaths, says they, whatever this entity is, tormented him.
And gives this terrifying warning. They won't stop until they've corrupted Richard completely.
Adds they'll need another host soon. Urges Lily to run, go far away.
Lily asks if Richard has hurt anyone. Phil doesn't know for sure. The uncertainty is chilling.
Puts Lily in incredible danger. Is she the next potential host?
Lily leaves, completely shaken, calls her mother. You feel her terror.
Cut back to Richard's apartment. He's frantically packing, trying to obey Phil's friend's ultimatum.
But then the voice starts. Miriam's voice. Or something pretending to be her.
Taunting him about leaving Lily. Twisting the knife about Miriam's actual death.
Brings up personal stuff, Jerry, the concert. Calls him a pushover. Says Lily's just repeating Miriam's pattern. Trying to isolate him, break him down.
It's pure psychological manipulation. Preying on every insecurity, every past trauma.
Richard is losing it. Reacts physically, closes the windows like he can shut the voice out, searches the apartment.
The voice keeps going. Insidious. Calls him a god. Promises freedom, pleasure.
All he has to do is be quiet. Comply, give in.
It's parasitic. Wants total control. Richard, desperate, finally asks it, "Who are you?"
Needs to understand what has hold of him.
And the voice gives this slippery answer. "I can be anything you want." Mentions his book, Lily's Success, saying it's just the beginning. More power is coming.
And Richard, he breaks. Just this broken sound. All right. Yes. He gives in completely.
A total surrender, and the voice immediately has a task for him.
Get the photo. The one from the pet shop. Says it's to tie loose ends.
Cut off the past. Eliminate evidence. Solidify control.
The story ends there, with Richard reluctantly agreeing, this huge storm raging outside his window.
Yeah.
Ominous is an understatement.
Wow. Okay, so recapping the big takeaways. We have this voice in Richard's head. Probably not Miriam, or at least not just Miriam, something sinister.
Tied into Phil's confession, how he accidentally invited something malevolent in after his wife died alongside Richard's fiancée.
And this entity has clearly influenced Richard, linked to the animal cruelty, Phil's breakdown.
While Lily, developing feelings for Richard, is slowly realizing the immense danger he represents, or is possessed by.
And we're left hanging with so many questions. What is the voice? What's its endgame?
Is Lily safe? Will Richard actually go get that photo? What happens when Phil's friends find out Richard didn't leave?
It's intense. This dive into She Lives really threw us into complex relationships, unfolding mysteries.
Yeah, it forces you to think about grief, manipulation, and that blurry line between psychological breakdown and maybe something more, something supernatural.
Right. It makes you consider how extreme grief can make someone vulnerable, how open we might become to influences, internal or external.
Could you explain all this purely psychologically? Maybe.
Yeah.
But the story leans into something else.
And you have to wonder about the real-world parallels, right?
Yeah.
The way people can be manipulated, especially when they're hurting. It definitely leaves you thinking.